to fail forward, right? Failing is fine, but you have to fail forward. You have to learn from the mistakes. And right now, I think at the start of the year, lap number 1 for 2026 HOK, this is where you really need to put in your homework, right? Find out what the gaps are in your team. And Nova Esports is definitely one of those teams that will let you know, hey, you have a gap here, fill that up.
Oh yeah, they're definitely filling in the cracks here on the side of NONGSHIM REDFORCE. Definitely, Nova Esports is the guys you would call if you were having home renovations, right? They would find every crack, they would fill it. You would be pretty much fully compensated for the heat loss since Nova has been here. But no, Nova Esports now get into game number 3 against NONGSHIM REDFORCE. They ban out the Ali, which obviously Muji picked in game number 1. They don't want to give it over to Siri. Siri, we know historically, has some fantastic performance on this hero, so it's understandable they go for this pick.
Yes, and for now, you know, the stock center picks we have had in the farm lane, all I think have mostly been used. The only one left is Magistrate, which we have not really seen for this particular series yet. Now, Chicha is going to be banned out for the side of Nova Esports as well. NONGSHIM will not allow that pick over, especially when you have players like Muji and Xuan and even Kong Ling, who can play 3 different roles as a Chicha.
Exactly. You can basically flex it up. It's pretty much a great first pick, and it really keeps your enemy team guessing, which is, I mean, at this point in the series, is NONGSHIM really wanting to be guessing? Probably not. So obviously Nova here looking to lock in Waypit's pick, the Diadea, the Bond Weaver, great support pick. We know obviously infinite scaling, fantastic heal potential and lockdown potential, single target. But it is the Magistrate that's coming through that we was talking about earlier here for Siri. And what you need when you have a Magistrate, you need that front line, and that's done none other by the beast, Zhang Fei.
There's a beast.
Great understanding on that. I mean, NONGSHIM REDFORCE, this is great start in terms of draft. Now you have the damage over time for the side of Magistrate. You also have the beast to get the shield in. But then Nova Esports, here's where things get really interesting. One of the reasons why you pick up the Magistrate is because on the second skill, Legal Immunity, you get to cut off and cleanse yourself of any debuff for that moment. But now Nova has 3 different kinds of CC available. You can use the ultimate by the Organ here, Soul Guide from Kong Ling. You can also use the second skill on the side of Bond Weaver for the idea to get the catch onto Magistrate. So Siri, once again, this game is looking pretty tough for him.
Here comes the bear.
Oh, absolutely. Very, very tough here in terms of obviously he was hoping for a little bit of an easy get out of the jail card with that CC immunity, but Nova's just like, all right, bet, let's give you some more to try and block. Let's give you the illusion of choice. So now, which one do you choose is going to be the important part here, and the important decision for Siri. But over to the side of NONGSHIM, they do lock in the Wild Rider, Agudo, once again, another one of my favorite junglers here. I prefer it into the farm lane recently. I've been getting some good victories here. I think, like 14 win streak with this bad boy, bad girl, shall I say. Beautiful. But they do ban out the Haino, which is obviously a great counter to the Wild Rhino as well.
It is. At the same time, though, we've seen this matchup in the past. Now, the patch is slightly different now, but Wild Rider is still able to hold their own against the Organ Soul Guide here. So this is going to be important, and it looks like Nova Esports is running down a different kind of game plan here, right? It's all about sustain, as well as the continual catch potential, right? So the Martial Genius, Ma Yin going into the hands of Xuan. We haven't seen Angry Xuan. We've only seen it once, and I feel like I don't think NONGSHIM has the ability to force that out just yet.
Nah, they're saving that for the knockouts, man. They're like, you know what? We've pretty much done this one. It's pretty much a done deal here. But I do like this last potential pick here for the side of NONGSHIM REDFORCE. Another good counter here for the Orgrin, right? The Soul Guide. Having that damage reduction from the Divine Enforcer, the Suya, as well as obviously the ultimate from the Magistrate. If you can catch those 2 onto Soul Guide, you can try and turn him from a raid boss into a soft kitty cat.
Yes, I like the potential of the draft from NONGSHIM, but as we have seen from these past 3 days, the Ma Yin versus Guan Yu matchup, right? Martial Genius against War Saint. You can be a War Saint, but a Genius might be able to 1v1 you, and we have seen that so many times.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, especially guided and piloted by Xuan as well, right? Like, you're going to be looking for not only the 1v1 against the War Saint, but also trying to get the pick off onto the potential of Illusion and Siri as well, right? Because obviously, the thing as well that I didn't point against for the Divine Enforcer is the fact that drafting it against the Chano as well, you get those XP orbs off of his Spirit Wolves as well, so it just basically enhances Divine Enforcer to level up faster as well.
Yes, and once he hits that level 15, you unlock the Sanctification. And when you play the Divine Enforcer, the Tsuya, in the roam position, you actually get faster EXP growth. So that is one of the benefits for the side of NONGSHIM, right? The question is it going to be strong enough for them to at least get a little cut against Nova? They have to make them bleed at this point, right? This is the potential final game of the series here.
Oh, absolutely. We know they bleed. We know they bleed. They lost against BTR yesterday, but BTR have been pretty much showing that they are a bit of a different gravy, man. Like the IKL representatives within this tournament, homegrown buff is understated here, man. Like they are definitely top of the one of the top of the creme de la creme. Like they are looking like top 3 teams right now, especially Dominator and BTR. Kagendra still a little bit of a bumpy road, but maybe they can redeem themselves a little bit later on today. But this is the drafts for game number 3 here. NONGSHIM really trying to pull out the blows here to try and get the counters onto the Orgrin in terms of damage reduction, trying to stop that raid boss here. But Conling, we've known, I think he's dropped one death in the past 2 games, and I don't think he's going to be looking to kind of like blemish that record anytime soon.
I'm sorry, what? 1 death in 2 games? That's crazy.
Yeah. Exactly. It is a good score here for the side of NONGSHIM, REDFORCE, and Conling here, putting pressure into the enemy jungle so far. Obviously, just using that zaps just to get like a multiple factor of damage here for the side of Nova.
Yeah, they already know what's going on. Nova immediately going for the initial aggression here. This is to stop Haku from using his passive, right? The release. Because when you're using release and you get attacked, you stop and it goes on cooldown. So they're slowing down the jungling pace on the side of Haku, which is really smart for the side of Nova. And at the same time, Conling manages to get the task ball camp away from NONGSHIM. So right off the bat, in terms of jungle advantages, Haku's already losing out.
Yeah, he's already losing out, and obviously overall gold as well. They're already losing it on the side of NONGSHIM. REDFORCE able to get the Phoenix into the bot side as well, contested normally into that farm lane, but Siri just didn't have any lead with it. They didn't have the minion wave. It was all pretty much going into Nova's favor here, but they're looking to try and take away the fire beak, and they do get it onto the side of NONGSHIM.
Okay, that's a good response. This is where NONGSHIM can find the recovery, right? They may not be able to keep neck for neck, but Ratel did get the steal. If he can make it out, this should be good. There is no ultimate available for Xuan, but this is a lot of pain for Ratel. He's going to try and make life a little bit more difficult for the side of Nova.
Oh, absolutely. He's definitely putting the pressure on here. Has the XP lead as well, thanks to that steal of the spike-tailed beast top side of the map there. So once again, you're starting to see like these little kind of answers from NONGSHIM and these little prayers from NONGSHIM as well. Obviously, we did see the Universal Law being placed down there just to try and put a bit of poke damage from a distance, maybe try and get a bit of an engage here onto the side of Nova Esports, but didn't quite come into fruition.
Well, you can start to see, potential setup. Very nice setup, NONGSHIM.
NONGSHIM trying to go in for a bit of a setup here, trying to get the lockdown onto Wave Pit. Because obviously Wave Pit, if you take Wave Pit out of this one, the sustainability aspect of Nova does dwindle a little bit. It doesn't dwindle completely because they still have Wendy on the Q1.
Yes, this double heal strat is kind of irritating. Namu, though, is falling quite a bit low. I don't think they'll go for the finish here. But this is where, later parts of the game, you'll start to see why Nova's draft is so scary, right? If Waypit is not stopped, and he gets his Destined Encounter down, his ultimate, the heals are already quite big. And then you add that on with Wendy's ultimate, the Unending Sorrow, essentially Nova members who are caught in that ulti get a double life.
Exactly here, but I mean, Ratel looking, trying to commit for this first blood of the match. He's able to get it as well. Nicely played, very well composed there, top side of the map. But the side of NONGSHIM REDFORCE, definitely the morale boost you want in this game number 3.
Yes, for sure. This is looking promising for the side of NONGSHIM REDFORCE, which is good at this state, because if you can control Xuan, then there is a high chance you are able to turn the fights. Right now, Siri doing actually pretty well on his own 1v2 against Muji and Waypit, but here comes the support from Namu.
Yes, Namu level 4 as well. He does obviously the Unbridled Outburst as well, which is going to be a little bit of an irritant here for the side of Nova Esports, because you think you're going to be able to run Namu. He's proc that beast, get basically a huge shield, get the Stampede, which we know can be quite frightful into these team fights, and onto the backline as well. Speaking of which, Ultimate committed onto 2 there, forcing the flash onto Wave Pit, having to use the Gorge Mobilization as well. Muchi is on the wrong side of that team fight. He gets taken down.
Yeah, they wanted to try something else on the side of Nova here. But this team fight is not looking good unless Illusion makes it on time.
Yeah, Illusion is here. He's a bit like not like British Transport. He's actually on time this time around, but it's going to be the fight and to just driving them away from that neutral objective. They don't want to fight without Muchi around, but now here comes Schwan just trying to get the check onto Ratel, giving that intel over with the side of the rest of Nova Esports.
Okay, so this means they have to sacrifice that Tyrant. First Tyrant of the game going to the hands of Nova. And NONGSHIM, they're keeping pace in terms of the farm, right? The fact that Muchi has been shut down for the first time in three games in total, this is looking good for NONGSHIM. But they have to find a worthwhile trade, and Nova is not going to allow it. Straight away, the invade coming for the Azure buff.
Yeah, looking to go for that blue buff here onto the side of Nova Esports. Ratel does get caught. Not Ratel, sorry, Namu. He doesn't have the ultimate, so that's the prime moment to take down the beast. But the Warsaint into the back line. They do trade support and mid lane. Sustainability for the side of Nova Esports does dwindle, but it's going to be a double kill for both of these teams.
Okay, but at this point, NONGSHIM practicing what they have been given from the side of Nova, which is to buy time and space, right? So this is a great split push coming in from the side of Siri. He's gonna get the T1 on the top side. Right now, in terms of like turret taking, no towers have been taken from Nova, so this is good news for NONGSHIM, but only for the time being, unless Ratel is able to help do this.
Potentially here again, those basic attacks up, and then the Soaring shot. Ooh, that's pretty much just like waving at you. It wants to be taken down, that T1 down to the bot side of the map, but it's only gonna be a matter of time there. Muchi's gonna be able to take that shot and get that one. So the trade overall is gonna be that alleviating the pressure into those side lanes.
And this is what's so scary about Nova, right? Immediately, once you have an advantage across one side of the map, Nova finds a way to shut that down. It's less than, 30 seconds, and they've already traded the T1 back from the side of NONGSHIM.
That's what makes them such a great team, right? Like, the fact is they kind of play in a little bit of like a Nostradamus playstyle, right? They try and set up the potential trades there before even knowing the fact that NONGSHIM knows their next move, right? Like, obviously, they knew that Siri was going to go top side of the map to get the takedown of that T1 because Ratel's had such a good early game trade there in the laning phase of the Clash lane, but that's when the news, like, right, okay, if we can't win the Clash lane, we have to win the opposite, right? But now, Ratel, he finds himself in a bit of hot water. He gets taken down there, so the Warsaint is no longer going to be charging forward, and they aren't able to get the Azure Golem up to the side of NONGSHIM REDFORCE. Nova takes that one away. Conling's going to be clutching that like his granny with the pearls.
Yep, and this is where itemization is so important for the side of NONGSHIM, right? They have not gotten the Doomsday for the side of Siri, but this is going to force out the ultimate at this point from the side of Wendy. Unending Sorrow going to be used. Wave Pit, what are you doing there?
Wave Pit, I mean, he's looking a little bit lost in the source, man. He's just trying to get intel, right? Like, they're looking to try to find, like, maybe a bit of a flank onto the back line here. Mid lane is looking pretty hairy for the side of NONGSHIM REDFORCE. That T1's looking pretty low.
Yeah, it's not looking too good at this point, and Nova should be able to get the T1 at the top side, right? At the same time, finally, Siri hits this marker that is required. He gets a Doomsday, and this is one of the reasons why it was so hard to take a team fight against Nova, because there is not enough damage coming out from the side of Siri. And with the heals coming in from both Wendy and Wave Pit, they absolutely need this Doomsday. Right now, it's about NONGSHIM. Can you buy enough time in the team fights? Do you have enough control to lock them in place so that Siri gets enough damage down?
I think the answer for that one so far is no, right? Obviously, that T2 top side of the map there looking like it's going to get taken down for the side of NONGSHIM. There it is, and they're contesting that the Crimson Golem and that Unbridled Outburst. Didn't catch a single Henry, and unfortunately now it's going to be Ratel maybe getting caught out there. It's going to stop. It's going to be the execution from Conling. That takedown is wild. Siri, having so little health, has to kind of form a retreat around this T1 into the mid lane.
Yep, and if you take a look at what's happening here, the heals are already coming in from the side of Nova, right? And this long extended fight is not working out in their favor. The fact that Namu couldn't get what he wanted with the Unbridled Outburst, this cost him quite a bit. Now, it's only 8.5 minutes, and you know the goalie is close to what, 3,000 gold ahead for the side of Nova. This is not good news at all.
Has been defeated.
Yes, Nova's definitely got their Nova chips flying high here for the side of Nova Esports in terms of support over in the Philippines. But now it's all really, NONGSHIM need the support for themselves and support from some of the fans as well, right? Like they are looking, I mean, to be fair, this game number 3, I feel like their early game's probably like the best performance they've had. I think that's all probably been aided by a Ratel as well as Siri as well, with the great sort of like rotation top side of the map there. But it's just not enough for Nova, right? Nova knows and Nova reacts accordingly.
Yeah, it's not looking good right now in terms of itemization, but NONGSHIM, they have to try. Xuan is just here as a bait, right? Because it's going to be a worthwhile trade for the side of Nova. I don't think they have enough time on the side of NONGSHIM. Every marker of this is looking for a trade. T3 now for the T2. Nova need to respond now, and NONGSHIM, they want to try and sneak this away. Namu has to use his ultimate to stop that incoming aggression from Nova.
Yep, somebody called 911 for that T3, and they did arrive in time, but Carling's finally getting taken down. That's the first death of the game, which is going to be crucial onto the side of NONGSHIM REDFORCE, as they have 5 members still alive. Namu is going to be the first fatal onto the side of NONGSHIM, which is going to be their tank, their driving force, the beast onto the side of NONGSHIM. But that is a good Hail Mary play there by the side of NONGSHIM REDFORCE.
Yes, and that's safe. This is why Namu's ultimate is so important, right? And the way that they force him to make a trade, you don't want to trade a T2 for a T3. That's going to be a long pain. And at this point, Nova, the remaining members, they're going to try and stop this attempt on the Shadow Tyrant. Maybe even get a kill on Ratel. That one hurts from Muji.
Oh, absolutely. Those soaring shots definitely going to be soaring. That health bar down here, able to get that CC immunity there. He's able to kind of, if that caught him, that would have been scary. But the fact is, Nova was too looking at this prize pony, which is going to be the War Saint. They do finally get the takedown, but they do lose their T1 into the mid lane. So clearly the distraction worked here.
Okay, I like this a lot. NONGSHIM now has a potential chance to drag the game, which is great because late game wise, now Illusion finally has hit past that level 15 mark. We're gonna see who here put his Sanctification on, right? The longer this game goes, in theory, NONGSHIM should have a stronger chance because they will be over level.
Yeah, one of their teammates are going to be over-leveled. Whether it's going to be Siri that gets that one, it would be very interesting to see here where that Sanctification does fall. And obviously, we will find out in a moment's notice. But that Overlord going over to the side of NONGSHIM REDFORCE, definitely going to be able to put that pressure onto Nova Esports into their desired lane.
They found him.
Maybe even the top side as they try and take a team fight here. They did find Conling. Once again, that Stampede is so aggressive. They get the shutdown onto the raid boss once again. But top side of the map was looking for a bit of a push there, but it looks like the Overlord has been placed there as well.
Okay, this is a potential turnaround from the side of NONGSHIM. Very smart usage. Alright, Kongling is not allowed to use his ultimate at all. He does not get the health regeneration back. And when he didn't want to use his ultimate prematurely, this is a free T3 for the side of NONGSHIM.
Yeah, this is the problem when you have an Nagudo on the enemy team, right? Like, the takedowns of those turrets are going to be so fast. You got to make sure that you respond quickly. And unfortunately, earlier on within the game, Nova didn't respond quick enough because they already damaged that T3 top side of the map pretty too fast for the side of Nova Esports. But now, Nova Esports base needs defended.
Yep, they definitely need to defend this. I think they have not been able to deal with the T2 takes. So right now, it is an open wound for the side of Nova on the top side. This one is, in a way, still a little bit of an advantage for them, right? Not too much pressure because that is the corresponding lane for the Shadow Overlord. Right now, NONGSHIM, they want to take the fight.
They want to take the fight. They want to try and get the lockdown onto Wendy here, but have to force out the ultimate. But there it is, the Unbridled Outburst. He's able to actually slow down the side of Nova, but Conling into the backline here. He's just trying to save his teammates. A bit of a misplay, I would have to say there, because now they don't have that driving force. They really are relying on Xuan here to maybe try and get the potential pick-off here onto the backline. But really, all that power, all that damage is going to be coming from Muji.
It's so smart. The way that NONGSHIM are playing right now, they understand what the win conditions are on the side of Nova, and they don't allow it.
Oh, there it is. Martial Genius into the back line, tries to get the Magistrate, but it's that legal immunity we was talking about earlier, Ken, gets him out of a sticky situation.
Red team
Yep.
has
Now it's a
destroyed
Baron base for the side of Nova here. I don't think they can end the game just yet, but for NONGSHIM, it's about buying time and space, right? Clear the wave so you have access to the rest of the map, because in the next, 30 seconds? No, 40 seconds or more, that is where the reset of the Shadow Overlord as well as the Shadow Tyrant following closely will be available.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we can even say, like, oh, they're close to the Tempest Dragon, because they're still roughly around about 6 minutes away, right? So that's going to be one heck of a long defense here for the side of Nova Esports, but they're doing well in terms of clearing out the minion waves, obviously, until these next neutral objectives do come on point. I feel like the point here for Nova Esports is they've got to make sure that their lanes are in a healthy position, that they can actually advance out of their base and go and contest these neutral objectives.
That's true, and I mean, at this point, NONGSHIM has found out why Nova's lineup, the weakness of Nova's lineup. Nova actually needs to stick together pretty close, right? Wendy needs to be within range to get his ultimate down. Waypin needs to be in range as well. So everyone is grouped up together. This is where Namu really has been, playmaker of the game so far, getting those ultimates down in conjunction with Illusion as well, and Haku making sure that they stay in place for a good 2 to 3 seconds. That's long enough.
It is very much long enough, but that top side, that bot side push down to for the side of Nova Esports could be a bit of a saving grace here as they look to try and go for this Shadow Overlord here, trying to run it down pretty quickly, trying to deny the access of Haku into it with that double knockup as well. Here we do have Namu with the ultimate. They're looking to try to get that unbridled outburst. It does catch onto Wave Pit, but it's going to be Conling into the back line with the Martial Genius. Chuan just trying to get the run down, trying to get Haku taken down, and that smite off of the gorge. But once again, Conling finds himself between a rock and a hard place. He falls, and so does Rattel. They need to go back and tend the farm.
I don't think this matters at all to NONGSHIM. This is great play. Once again, they isolate Conling. It doesn't matter if you are a strong jungle tank here. Conling is just 1v5, you don't really do that. At the same time, because of the stuns coming out by Namu as well, Siri has been left alone to get all the damage in. Now he has information. NONGSHIM want to go for the steal here.
Yeah, a bit of a... I don't know if I like this play here from Nova. Maybe just using the Overlord as a bit of a bait here. Trying to get Namu off of the gorge as well, because now he doesn't have the unbridled outburst. He's going to be a bit of a punching bag and actually be able to get punched off of the chains here by the side of Nova Esports. But someone's got to tend that farm down to the bot side here. Conling does come back just in the nick of time.
Okay, so there's going to be a silver lining for them, right? There is no more pressure coming from the bot side. Congling's going to be able to clear that. Now it's about the hold on this Shadow Overlord, right? We're 16 minutes in, still 4 minutes to go. This is too long for Nova. They need more time.
They do need more time, but it's going to be that Shadow Tyrant buff actually wearing off in around about 2 seconds. So that's going to be that green light go for this Shadow Overlord. And it's going to be a quick takedown as well. So once again, they are going to be at the behest of that Shadow Overlord. It's going to be the side of Nova Esports as they defend their base. We have 2 minion waves already approaching pretty fastly here for the side of NONGSHIM.
All right, we'll see. This might be the final call here. They can't be too greedy. Nova, this is the time. They can really turn things around.
Yeah, they've really got to play a really good defense, get rid of these minion waves, wait for the Shadow Vanguards, but they've also got to play to a timer, right? Obviously, Namu now has an ulti, when we've seen time and time again within this game number 3 where Nova just tried to get the dunk onto Namu when he doesn't have that unbridled outburst.
Yeah, this is not ideal, right? They have waited a little bit too long. 3 waves at the same time. Nova need to figure something else up. The stuns do come in, but for now, NONGSHIM still waiting for that final call. Oh, nice.
Oh, unbridled outburst does catch onto the minion wave there, but actually doesn't catch onto any members on the side of Nova Esports, which is going to be a bit of a situation of the NONGSHIM REDFORCE right now. One have a bit who has to force himself. Rattel's onto the back line here, tries to get the dunk onto Conling. It's going to be the Magistrate here. Siri gets the takedown. There is a Vanguard there. They're trying to do the damage, and NONGSHIM do it. They make Nova bleed.
Yup, they make them bleed. That was a nice cut. It's a little bit of a scratch. For now, NONGSHIM managed to put a blemish onto Nova's record here. You don't get the 3-0. It's going to be 2-1 at this point, and the NONGSHIM fans are happy. And I think they deserve to be. That was a great recovery from NONGSHIM, but the road is still far away.
Oh yes, a very long road. It is a best of 5. It means they would have to sweep this back-to-back games, but the impressive thing is they take a game from Nova Esports, which there's some teams within this competition that weren't able to do that. So BTR and NONGSHIM still look like they got. I mean, BTR have got a definite horse in this race, but NONGSHIM now maybe they've just got online. It's taken them 4 days, but now they're here.
Okay, 4 days, you know, there's a total of, I think, 8. So halfway there, they've done their homework. They've grown a little bit. This is great. You know, it's all about, this kind of like discovering in the gym, hey, I can lift a new set of weights, right? I can carry heavier weights now. And NONGSHIM, with this realization, does this bring them to tie the series up? Because if Nova don't close this game number 4, you know, there is a surprise incoming, maybe.
Maybe they get to do what BTR weren't able to do. Obviously, they took game number 1, and then that was it. It kind of just like, whoa, hey, we took a game from Nova, and then it was just kind of everything just fell from that point. But NONGSHIM, they come back from the claws of defeat, right? They get their win at their pretty much at death's precipice, for lack of better words of Conling's skill there. They're able to claim a kill and game from NONGSHIM REDFORCE, which is going to be definitely the morality boost here that they need in this best of 5.
Okay, I know we were joking about it just now where, you know, NONGSHIM unable to force the angry Xuan out. I feel like, okay, Xuan is now in rage mode. We get to see the angry Xuan and the true form of Nova, at least in this day number 4.
Exactly, but I mean, we just saw a good game from Namu on the Zhangfei as well, the Beast, but now it means that Waypick could actually go for that himself, and obviously we know that that's one of his signature picks, so maybe they're like, all right, let's see how NONGSHIM can play the Beast, and we will basically give them a masterclass in it, and we will hand the victory to ourselves in this game number 4. But let's have a bit of a breakdown of the itemization of the gold.
Alright, so obviously the one that sticks out the most on the side of NONGSHIM has to be Siri, right? This guy's at 14,000. He went for the stock standard tank build here with the Sparkforge Dagger, Doomsday, as well as the Daybreaker. This is the damage that comes in, but the Cuirass of Savagery to make sure that he's able to tank along with the Frost Sword as well. This is going to be able to get him to deal more damage, but also have more HP. But to me, you know, this game, this was a much better NONGSHIM because they identified what the win condition against Nova was. And I think it's props to Namu here. The amount of unbridled outbursts that he managed to lay down onto Nova not only split the fight, but also lowered the efficiency of like Wendy's ultimate, Waypitt's ultimate as well, because he couldn't catch all the team members that needed saving.
Exactly that. Like, obviously, I feel like the Divine Enforcer pick here for the side of NONGSHIM REDFORCE was such a great pickup as well. Like, the fact is, it really put the pressure on there. Obviously, using the Universal Law was enough to kind of like drive them into the situation that they wanted to be, or the position that they wanted Nova to be at. Because once that one runway was placed down, Namu got the most effective runways. I mean, there were some that did miss. Obviously, you don't hit 100% of your shots. Nobody is that perfect with Honor of Kings, but he did get some crucial unbridled airbursts, which was really one of the big upsets for Nova Esports, I feel like. But Nova here, obviously losing game number 3. NONGSHIM REDFORCE was able to keep going and keep this series within their grasp, because I mean that would definitely be one of the greater notes here for now labeled the Ultimate Red, was formerly the Greatest Red. If they were able to actually get the victory off of Nova, it does mean overall that the MKL representatives aren't quite as bulletproof as they were in Season 3.
Yeah, but once again, this is the start of the year, right? This is where I think some things, some gaps will be exposed. And we're talking about Nova exposing the gaps of NONGSHIM. But for the first time in this series, NONGSHIM has shown the gaps of Nova. And that's a sight to see because we want to have the teams get stronger as the days go by, as we head into the Pro Leagues right after this. But for now, we'll stay on point. KIS number 4, Honor of Kings Invitationals Season 4. It looks like NONGSHIM has adapted, but is it going to be just a current adaptation and Nova just runs rampant in game number 4, or will NONGSHIM manage to get another punch in?
I mean, they can only hope so, right? Obviously, they hope that their noodles do pack a punch, right? They have some spicy noodles, so maybe NONGSHIM can inherit the force of their spicy noodles and get that second wave. That kind of like when you breathe in after spicy noodles, you're like, ooh, like that's gonna be Nova in game number 4.
Yeah, it has to be. I think, yes, everyone in the comments, we see it. You're kind of... No, you're not dreaming, right? NONGSHIM did win this game number 3. And this was done with a very clear expectation of what's supposed to happen. Now, NONGSHIM REDFORCE, this is going to be your mid laner MVP here. Mr. Old Man on the Divine Enforcer, the Tsuya 1-0-8. He was one of the main reasons why they got a lot of success in the fights, not just because he had the knockouts, but his first skill, lowering the physical and magic defenses, also giving the sanctification to the relevant members on the side of NONGSHIM.
Yeah, it was a beautiful 5th pick, right? Like, honestly, that coming through really solidified NONGSHIM's draft in this game number 3. Like, we saw it come through. We knew that the Sanctification would get online early, thanks to obviously being able to get the XP orbs off of Moochie's Wolves. But also, the most impressive factor is the good counter potential for the Augur and the Soul Guide as well.
Yep. If you notice, like a lot of the team fights that were happening on the side of between Nova and NONGSHIM, Illusion was pretty much left alone, right? He had the ability to stay afar, get his first skill in, lower down defenses on all the different members on the side of Nova, and that is where they found a lot of success because Kongling wasn't able to tank through. He had no time to use his ultimate.
No time to use his ultimate. There's too much damage coming through as well, even though like we always label the Soul Guide as the raid boss. He was literally, like I said, in the draft, like the potential of this Divine Enforcer is enabled. The potential is to turn him into a kitty cat, not a raid boss, and that's exactly what they did. And honestly, I always fear when I see a Divine Enforcer in my ranked games, especially if you're playing like a tank, because they can just melt you down to turn you into smooth butter.
Yep, it is. And smooth it was for this game for the side of NONGSHIM. Maybe not smooth all the way, but not bad, right? Not bad. I like this performance from the side of NONGSHIM. We'll see how they're going to be like in this game number 4. You could see that win means a lot to them. Nova, for them, I